on Twitch, Sarmia and the Dance of the Dryads does come out, but doesn't get a ton of value. The time travel going through. Where does he go? The right. Oh my goodness! It was just this. It just stopped. He's trying to outbox him. You can't outbox
Oh
this.
god, oh god, oh god!
Where's it gonna go?
Oh, that jukes!
It jukes!
Fancy footwork!
He got them! Yeah, the daisy jukes
Oh!
Llewellyn, he gets the kill! Balling out for impact is good off.
And with it, an advantage.
Oh, no!
Youngsung, what?
Rare Pete pulls him in, and then the time travel stun comes in. You're not surviving, dude.
And these combos are absolutely unreal.
The death of this game has to be studied. I don't know how a game can become popular and still be relevant after years of being played by big streamers and created an esports a couple of weeks after the game was released to nothing but an empty husk of a game that could have been popular like League of Legends or CSGO. The developers killed this game faster than how the Overwatch League made me cringe when they invited DJ Khaled to perform for their tournament.
Overwatch League!
Battlerite was one of those games that you played when you wanted something fast-paced and fun. It felt unique when comparing them to other MOBAs that were being released at the time. This game was so fun to me that it made me play solo rank, and not a lot of games can make me do that, except if it's a fighting game, but I don't feel like smashing my controller every time I lose to lag. Alright, trust me when I say I never lose. It's my internet's fault, okay? The esports scene had a good chunk of people watching. Thousands of people would tune in to watch their favorite team. It got to the point that they partnered with Twitch to make Twitch crates when supporting a Battlerite creator. Everyone wanted the badass Cloud. Who wouldn't want this mount? And pretend you're Goku. Also, they had Twitch exclusive bundle that gave you an Ashka skin. But all that went away, fading into memory, hoping the game would make a comeback. I'll be going over the death of Battlerite and how the developers ruined the whole franchise when it could have been one of the games that would last over the years. First, we have to understand what Battlerite was and how it got to the point where the peak of the game was 44,000 concurrent players. Battlerite was in early access back in 2016 with a price of $20 and apparently popped off with over 1 million downloads. Yeah, this game was crazy back then. The game was a spiritual successor to Bloodline Champions, created by the same developer Stunlock Studios. I didn't get the chance to play Bloodline since I was in 5th grade, beating everyone in Mario Kart Double Dash. Oh my... Damn it, I'm in last place! Looking at the game, it legit is just an older version of Battlerite, but with some of the characters having completely different designs to them. Only big difference is that Battlerite doesn't have the other game modes like Bloodline did. Battlerite only had one game mode, which was Team Deathmatch. Having two teams of either 2 or 3 players, defeating all the players in the enemy team wins the round. 3 players each team was usually the default option when playing ranked or tournaments. There are 3 roles to choose from. You would think that only having 3 roles is boring, and I understand that. But what made this game stand out from the traditional MOBAs was the crazy skill upgrades. I'm not talking about the lame skill upgrades they decided to change later in its updates. I'm talking about the skill upgrades that you could choose at the beginning of every round. This was a way better mechanic than having all the skills in the beginning. It actually made my one brain cell work and strategically pick my skills to make a counterplay against the enemy team instead of let me pick all the offensive skills. I absolutely hated the change they did to this. Don't get me wrong, you can still pick a playstyle for each character and not be bounded to the role of the character. It just erased the depth and interesting part of the game and the skill upgrade mechanic. Also, I'm pretty sure beginners had a way harder time reading all the skills for making their builds. No one wants to be wasting their whole time reading a damn novel about skills. I wouldn't be surprised if this turned players off when playing this game. Alright, maybe I wasn't in the community as other people and they wanted this change to happen, but this made me quit the game or at least stopped me from booting it up as often. The pitfall of Battlerite honestly was the majority of the developers' fault. As much as I hate certain games and their communities for wanting a change that could make the game really bad, Battlerite has to win the top spot for that. The developers at Stunlock Studios have a really bad habit of ending support for their games even though they've released 4 games in total. Battlerite's lifespan was so short, it lasted for 3 years. Technically 2 if you want to exclude the early access. Another game they were releasing that stopped the support for Battlerite was the Battle Royale version of it, called the Battlerite Royale. Get it? Battlerite Royale, but instead of the word battle, it's Battlerite. Yeah, I hope they fired the guy who came up with that. Not like me though, when I came up with a genius idea of rewording a console name to make it better. Watch this video if you don't know what I'm talking about. I went in depth about consoles that you probably never heard of. Anyways, the developers thought it would be an amazing idea to make another Battle Royale game trying to compete with the ones that already had a big name to them. It's not like we have a million of those already. I get that they were trying to compete with other MOBAs with Battlerite, but competing with Fortnite was a stupid thing to do, especially slapping your existing IP just because Battlerite became a huge name, hoping the name would bring a lot of players in. Right after the release of Battlerite Royale, the game died immediately. It was given 1 year to continue having updates and balancing the characters, then it got axed the same time Battlerite stopped receiving updates, leaving the Battlerite games in maintenance mode. Basically, another word for this game is dead and we aren't gonna touch this crap again. With every new game the developers work on, they completely forget about the ones that exist. They wasted the potential Battlerite had. Battlerite was a unique game with unique mechanics that challenged the players with counterplay and reaction times. Another issue was their monetization model. Battlerite was initially a buy-to-play game, which meant that players had to purchase the game up front to play. While this worked in the beginning, the game switched to free-to-play when it was officially released, making the game heavy on microtransactions. If you bought the game before release, all you really had to worry about were the skins and not the characters. If you didn't, well, sorry buddy, it's hell for you trying to play the game non-stop to earn the high amount a character costs. The cost for every champion was insane, not to mention the skins and mounts were a different in-game currency that took forever to get, since the only way to get it is by leveling up, and it wasn't a lot too. It would be pennies worth, basically forcing players to buy the currency with their mom's credit card. I'm not gonna lie though, the mounts look fire. The Razor Eel was my favorite one, but I never got the chance to get it since it was an exclusive Razor promotion. I mean, I could get it now, but why would I spend my money on a dead game? Crazy to think that even big gaming companies had their own items in the game. Switching to esports. Esports players had to find different games to compete in. Since the game was on a decline, most of the organizations had to lay off their players. Or even worse, file for a job application in real life. Oh no, but for real, I feel bad for all these professional Battlerite players that had to leave their orgs and stop making a living from the game. Off the top of my head, the absolute worst thing that Stunlock Studio has ever done was use the Battlerite Twitter account to spam promote their new game V Rising. When V Rising was being announced, you could see an absurd amount of tweets talking about the game and how people should buy it because it's a Diablo and Rust type of game. V Rising is a really good game, but I can already tell that the developers are going to give up on it as soon as they start another project or when they don't see the player count as a lot anymore. Stunlock Studio doesn't have only one game that was big, but 3 of them. I'm not including this booty cheeks of a game though. I know this game company has what it takes to make really good games, but are ignorant when it comes to maintaining those games. I hope they learn and continue to make amazing games, fixing the mistakes they had made from past titles like Battlerite. If we can get a Battlerite 2 with frequent updates and new characters to play with, different abilities that you can change mid-round, I would be happier than anybody in the world. I honestly think they could pull it off too and create another powerhouse game that has a big esports scene. Overall, Battlerite was a promising game that failed to live up to its potential. Its lack of content, the amount of microtransactions, and the horrendous support from the developers contributed to the game's death. The change in skill mechanics was also really bad. I wish they could have kept it early access mechanics. While the game did have amazing gameplay, it wasn't enough to sustain the game's player base in the long run. Also, the developers could have fixed or even communicated better with the community. More frequent updates would have been nice, or at least meta changes that would have given it a gimmick similar to League of Legends with the dragons or the map changes throughout the season. Hopefully we get a revival of this game soon, just like Gigantic, but in the end, Battlerite became a dead game but never forgotten. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you want more of these half-ass videos, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. See ya.